Since no Halloween special would be complete without some appropriately themed headwear, here's, oh no, my themed headband, which is snapped in half because it's cheap as heck. Ah, sad pumpkin. Yay! This isn't going well, Andrew. Alright, so for today's video, we're going to be learning how to use basic binary Arduino switches. The core concept of this video is what is a switch, especially to an Arduino. So a digital signal is a binary signal. It's a square wave. You're always going to have either a 1 or a 0. And essentially, high means that the voltage is on, and low means the voltage is 0. So how does the Arduino read that? Essentially what it does is it sends 5 volts into the switch, and then the switch, if it is closed, will send 5 volts through it. And that other end is going to be connected to one of the digital pins on the Arduino. And that pin is just looking to say, hey, am I high? Am I at 5 volts? Yes, it's connected. Am I low? Am I at 0 volts? Then it's going to be disconnected. This, of course, can just be a button that you can get in an Arduino kit or just connecting wires together. However, because it's Halloween, we're going to be making a trick welcome mat that will trigger an Arduino input, which means that when trick-or-treaters step on your welcome mat, you can scare them with whatever output you want, whether it be screaming skeletons or sound effects or lights, or even just like you open the door before they ring the bell. You're gonna need an Arduino, of course. I'm just using an Arduino Uno. You're also gonna need a welcome mat, and this is gonna go over the assembly that we make. Bonus points for Halloween themed. You're also going to need 3 pieces of any kind of material that are the same size as your welcome mat. I'm using hardboard because it's really cheap and really easy to work with, and also easy to laser cut, which is how I made these. But you should also feel free to use cardboard, although I would maybe double or triple up. You're gonna want 2 pieces that are the same size as the mat, and then 1 that has a like window frame cut out of the middle. And you'll see why in a second. You're gonna need aluminum foil. See, I told you this was a cooking show. Some connector wires, and like the foamy window insulation stuff. And you want to make sure that whatever you have is self-adhesive, or you're gonna be really sad as you're like trying to glue it all down. So first thing is I want to turn both of these panels into something conductive. So I'm just gonna take my tin foil, make it the same size as, and you just want to tape it down so it's flat on the piece. Make sure the foil is nice and flat and smooth, and you're not gonna have it bubble up. All right, so there's one of them. I wanna do my second one, exact same process. All right, so at this point, we're gonna wanna connect our wires to the aluminum foil. And because we can't really solder to aluminum foil, I'm actually just gonna strip away a bunch of this wire. I hate these wire strippers so much. One of you amazing people bought us incredible wire strippers, but I took them with me to California. So now I've got 2 ends, and all I'm gonna do is just take this. If you have conductive tape, like foil tape, this would be a really good time to use it, but I'm actually just gonna use a little bit of electrical tape. All right, so that's one side done. All right, so next you want to take your frame here. So you wanna attach it somehow. I'm just gonna gaff tape it down. All right, so now that I have that one secured, we want to create a little bit more of a platform between this one and the next. So I'm gonna use these foam window insulation strips to do that. So as you can see, I'm just putting this like squishy insulation foam down around the hole. And now we just want to connect our other wire to this side. So I'm basically putting together a sandwich with 2 aluminum foil pieces that will only touch each other when it is stepped on. When the 2 pieces of aluminum touch each other, Arduino is going to be able to read that as a through signal. So before you put the final assembly together and tape it down or glue it together or whatever your plan is, this is a really good time to check it with a multimeter and make sure that it is indeed working as a switch the way you're expecting. We're going to need to do a continuity check, and as I press down, the 2 pieces of aluminum touch each other and we're getting a continuous electric flow through, and we're getting the beep on our multimeter. If I release it, then there's a break in the connection and no beep. Protect. Okay. If we want to follow this circuit all the way through, we're getting 5 volts up and into this red wire, which goes through this mess of wire and to the bottom plate. And then from there, it has nowhere to go because it's a broken connection. However, if there's a trick-or-treater standing on the mat, the 2 pieces of aluminum will touch and then current will flow back through the black wire up into the digital pin here, which will read it as a high, and you will know that there was a trick-or-treater standing on your mat. More importantly though, the Arduino will know.
All right, now that we've got our sensor built, we can program our Arduino. And we're just gonna cover getting the input into the Arduino first, and then we'll talk about controlling something using it. Go ahead and open up the Arduino IDE and start a new project. You'll see the setup and loop sections created for you. First, let's define a pin for our digital input. I chose input number 2, so let's go ahead and make a new int variable called input pin and assign it number 2. Let's also make a new Boolean variable called input state that can either be true or false, and that's going to be used to keep track of the actions on the step pad at any one time. Next, let's jump to the setup section of our code. We need to tell the microcontroller that we have an input coming into one of our pins. To do that, add pin mode input pin input. Now that our input is set up, let's add the code to check this input into the loop section of our code. Under void loop, let's first get the value of our input pin. Set button state equal to digital read input pin. This will have the microcontroller check the input voltage and decide if it's high, which means the button is closed, or low, meaning the button is open. Now we have a variable that we can use to control other parts of our program, and it will be updated every time the loop repeats. If you want to check on the variable at all time, you can use something called serial write, and then this serial magnifying glass in the top right corner. Serial write will print out the status of the button in real time. There are a couple ways you can use your newfound input powers, but the easiest way is with an if statement. If statements basically have the microcontroller do one thing if a condition is true, or do something else if the condition is false. Let's write if input state equals high to start our if statement. This line is basically using the equals operator to check whether input state is equal to high. And note that you have to use 2 equal signs to tell the computer that you want equals. If it is, the line evaluates to true and the Arduino will do whatever is within the brackets. Follow your if with an else. If the conditions for the if statement aren't met, the Arduino will do whatever is within the else brackets instead. So now let's add something to control. For now, let's keep it simple and control an LED like we did in our Arduino 101 tutorial, although it's Halloween, so I really encourage you to do something a little more creative. We'll define another integer LED pin, and let's set that to the internal LED on pin 13. Now, in the brackets of the if statement, let's add digital write LED pin high. This will turn the LED on if the button is being pressed. Let's also change the else brackets to include digital write LED pin low, so that the Arduino will turn off the LED when someone steps off the pad. Now, let's upload our board and test it. And look at that, it works! Now you've got a way of starting to control your own projects. There are tons of ways to use if statements and digital inputs, so start playing around. Get creative, let the Halloween time or whatever time of year you're watching this inspire you, and let us know what you build on our social media.
Thanks so much for watching! Hopefully you thought this was helpful and you learned something, and you're also learning why Zyla is not a ventriloquist. Anyway, don't let the Halloween theme of this project limit you in any way. You just learned the basics of Arduino switches and digital inputs, and that's really important and really fun. And you can take this mat and use it for anything, anytime, but you can also take the concept and the programming skills from this video and use them on buttons and on sensors and other inputs into your Arduino. Thanks so much for watching this episode of Beauty and the Bolt. Feel free to give it a like or subscribe. Down in the description below, there is also links to the products that we used, as well as a link to our merchandise store, which has things like shirts and sweatshirts. Also in the description below is all of the files that we used so that you can build your own. Signing off, this is Zyla and Andrew behind the camera from Beauty and the Bolt.